Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're going to talk about an auction, real estate deal, investing in land, how to turn it into a construction loan, real estate investment 101. We're going to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. It's an existing opportunity right now. And there's going to be twists and turns and surprises. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. I'm excited today because we have something that I talked about in the prior videos, which were auctions for real estate investing and how to use auctions. And there's going to be a little bonus today because people keep asking me, how do you get loans and how do you build on land or acreage? There's a couple of things that you need to know, but first, you can see we're here at the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. So again, please share these videos so you can help other people. That's what this is about. And if you'd like to be a member of the channel and become and hit the join button over here on the right, I have you have special emojis, you have special items that you can post in chat. You also get special messages from me, and you get 1 or 2 videos a month from me that's specially for members of the channel. So please join and support. Now, let's get to it. Transon Auctions is one of the places that I talked about before. Everybody on podcasts, it's T as in Tom, R-A, N as in Nancy, Z as in Zebra, O-N.com. That's where you need to go. We're going to go over here right now and we're going to talk about a special where there was 10 lots. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of it was just an example that I did in the video, but because it's in South, as they have put it here, South Fulton 30213, which actually turns out to be like a place called Fairburn. Anyhow, Seymour Estates is built out. So you have to ask yourself, why are these 10 lots available? I couldn't understand it myself. And we'll scroll through here and you can see right here, it's 10 lots plus this double lot over here. And you're sitting there thinking you have to do your due diligence, right? So on here, you have your own due diligence at Transon. And you can see here, last available lots in the subdivision called Seymour Estates. Lots are being sold together as one. Each lot is about 6,000 square feet, which is like 60 feet wide by 100 feet deep. All utilities are underground and in place, which is important because if they weren't in place, what would happen, just so for everybody who wants to buy acreage, lands, lots, and things like that, if you do not have utilities, the city or the county will charge you per foot or per 100 feet that they have to bring the utilities to your lot. And this could end up being, like, if it's 100 feet away, let's say, you might have to pay $100,000 to get all utilities down there. All right? So this is why you have to have lots or acreage. It's good to have some sort of utilities already coming to the lot. All right? They're claiming it's less than 3 miles to I-85, minutes to Atlanta Film Studios and Hartsfield Airport. This is true. The seller has indicated the double lot may not currently be a buildable lot. So you already know going in, this double lot over here in the big square, that may not be buildable and probably is not buildable because you have to ask yourself, why is this whole subdivision built except for these 10 lots plus this double lot? So I'm going to get into the story of how we find out about it because this is a lesson in real estate investing and your due diligence. So first off, you read the due diligence here. But now you're saying, well, they have every interest to leave out certain things because they're actually selling the property. But here you have a person that you can call there, which again is with the company. Now, a lot of people misunderstand how auctions work. Some auctions require you to put down payments where you have to say, you have to send in, let's say, $5,000 before you can bid, or 10,000. It could be whatever the auctioneer wants to do. But you have to understand what the parameters are. And here's, in every auction, they have the situation that you need to know. Buyer's premium, you're going to end up paying $3,000 or 10% of what the winning bid price is. So again, they're already starting this auction, if I'm not mistaken, at $53,000. I haven't looked at it, but I think it's $53,000. Keep in mind, it's $53,000 starting bid for all 10 lots. So right now it's $5,300 per lot if the successful bidder was that. Then you would have to add 10%, which would mean $5,300. All right? You got that? Now, closing on or before October 9th, and it's sold as is conditions, meaning there is no warranties on this property. So if you don't go out there and look at this property, if you don't find out why these 10 lots, 11 lots are sitting there vacant, there must be a reason. All right? That's the way I look at it, because the whole subdivision is built. So when you start thinking in those terms, now keep in mind, it says 10% deposit due via wire transfer to closing agent within 24 hours. So once again, you don't need any money to bid, but if you're the winning bidder, they expect the following day to have monies wired to them. So if the winning bid is $53,000, you're gonna add $5,300 because of the buyer's premium. So now you're around $59,000. Then you're gonna add a 2% broker co-op fee. So now you're gonna have to add another $1,000. So it's $60,000 basically is what this costs if the winning bid is simply $53,000. So you're going to have to wire 10%, which is $6,000, and then you're going to, and I don't know the instructions for the remaining, but it's saying October 9th, you have to close by October 9th. That is not a bad deal. Have to check further with this, but if I'm not mistaken, this could be a potential situation where you could put down $7,000, $8,000 if the bidding went up to that. And now you have until October 9th to send in the remaining amount. And from that time till October 9th, you might be able to flip something here. Where you might be able to sell this a lot to somebody potentially for, let's say, 20 grand. Let's say 10 grand. Now you have to start thinking, let's say, for instance, I can sell these like tomorrow for 10 grand each. 10 times 10 is 100,000. If I pay 80, that means I can make 20 grand by October 9th potentially, if we decided to do that route. I'm just giving you guys ideas on what you can do. So in this case, it looks like you may need $6,000 for minimum. And it's going to rise depending on what the actual bid price is, but $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. Some of you are going, hey, right now, some of you are sitting there going, well, I might not have the money. Think about it in this term. Do you have the money that you can take off of credit cards? Do you have the money that you can take off of a home equity line of credit? Do you have the credit where you can go down to your credit union and say, hey, I need a personal loan for 10 grand? That's all I'm trying to say. You have to put things in motion that you can do, and this is why you set yourself up for success now. Even if you can't do this, you can do a similar deal like this when you get everything else in place. This is why you need extra streams of income, because if you have $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, or the ability to get that kind of money, then you may be able to do this deal. So we're going to continue. I'm a little bit excited about this actually, because anybody can do this. Especially with the parameters that they set forth here, where all you need is 10% down, and then you got to close by October 9th. Let me go see when this auction actually starts. Here it is, September 3rd, and then it closes September 10th. So they're giving you 30 days to come up with the remaining balance. So in that 30 days, you could do magic. If you find out that these lots could actually sell for $20,000 each relatively quickly, then what? That changes the whole parameter, because now you're thinking, hey, if I bid 60, 70 grand and I can sit up here and get rid of 4 of them, I got all that and I still have 4 lots left. And now, second thing comes into mind. Think about this. Here's how builders work. You might need a hard money loan. And I'm going to give you somebody, I'll post it up here on the screen, because this is somebody that I used before, Brad Evans, but he only does Northern California. He did a properties for me back in the day. He still does it. It's hard money. And you can see here on the screen how this works. A lot of people say, how do you get real estate, land, or acreage? How you can build on it? This is how you can build on it. This guy, I'll have a link down below, easyconstructionloan.com. But it's only for Northern California. So you're going to have to find a hard money lender in your area. Like if I was going to do this in Georgia, I would have to go searching for a hard money lender in Georgia that has the similar parameters as this. You can see here, they do 500,000 to 2 million in Northern California for up to 60% LTV of completed value. And they're doing 10% interest only loan with a 3.5 points, which means, I'll try to keep it simple, but if you got $100,000, you're going to have to pay 3.5 points to get the loan. So $3,500 you're going to have to pay, and then you're going to pay 10% on that over a 12-month period. So you divide 10% by 12, so you're talking about 100,000, that's 1,000. That's 10,000. So you're going to pay roughly $900 a month for interest only. At the end of 1 year, you have to give them their whole 100. All right. And then they charge 250 doc fees plus title draws and escrow fees, things like that. And a draw, you're not going to, if they give you, let's call it $500,000, you're not getting all 500. It's going to be based on draw, which means when you start putting in the foundation, let's say, that's complete. Now you get a draw. You get your money for that. That's why contractors is very important. A contractor that's lagging, a contractor who doesn't want to put in the work, who's taking his time. Time is money. So therefore, it's costing you money. And now you have a 12-month time frame. But each month that goes by, you're paying interest on this money. So that's why you want to complete the project, and that's why you want to have a person that's a well-known builder, a person that isn't playing around. You don't want to scrimp. So let's just use an example here. 60% loan to value. Let's say after we build the house that we build in this neighborhood is only going to be $250,000. So, all right, so let's just put it plain and simple. So it's 60% of the future completed value, which is $250,000. And that is, since I don't know the math, but I'll try and do it real quick here, 250 times 0.6. 150,000 is all they will give you. All right? So now, let's just say you bought the lot. Each lot is on average, I'll use the 6,000, 60,000. So each lot is 6 grand. So basically, they can only give you 140, let's say. All right? Or they might give you the whole 150. But either way, you got the money, 140, 150 to build a house. But can you build a 1,900 square foot house, 2,000 square foot house in this neighborhood for that kind of money? And the answer is going to be no. But I'm going to show you something. Let's move on. Whether you're in southern Florida, Dallas, Atlanta, I just Googled how much to build a home in Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta proper, they're talking about $90 a square foot. Dallas, Texas, $93 a square foot. Southern Florida, $108 per square foot. This is just Thumbtack's home estimator, average 2020 in 2020. Now, in this neighborhood, if I needed to build, if I went by this $90 a square foot, in this neighborhood, in order to get me a $250,000 house, I need to build at least a 2,000 square foot house. That's $180,000. So you can see right there, we may have a problem because I won't be able to get, if it's a 60% LTV, I can only get 150. So that means I'm going to have to come out of pocket the extra 30 to get this house done. And even then, now I have to sell the house, and if the house is only going to be worth 250, we only have that 70,000 cushion. So are we really wanting to get a 150,000 loan to only make possibly $40,000-$50,000? Some of you may say, yes, Eric, I'll take 40,000 or 30,000. But the question you have to ask yourself is, when you're doing build from the ground up, construction building, you always run into some sort of problem. And if you don't finish this project at the end of 12 months, you now have a note due of $150,000. So keep these kind of things in mind. So I'm going to show you something else. So what did I do to find out a little bit more about this? What I did was I put in some of the, I went over here and put in at Redfin, I just put in the addresses around there on Winkman Drive, because these properties are on Winkman Drive. So there's homes right here, as you can see, and across the street on Winkman Drive. So I went over here to Redfin, and this is where I got values of the home. Just a reconnaissance mission. All right. Last sold for 174. Redfin estimates 205. Fine. All right. What else did I do? I went over here to realtor.com. And what did we find out? Last sold for $53,000. All of these lots were sold for somebody bought them for $53,000. All right? But look here. What you may not have known is, look at this. On May 6th of this year, 2020, somebody listed it for $175. Now, October 24th, 2019, somebody bought it for $53,000, all of these lots. Then May 6th, they put them on the market for $175. No takers. June 4th, they dropped the price to $99,000. No takers. So somebody contacted them after the listing probably fell off and said, hey, why don't you list your property on Transend? Maybe somebody will buy the whole thing for you for your purchase price last October, which is almost a year ago, for $53,000. They weren't able to build, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So you can see here, the lot size is 6,098 square feet. Again, this is just by, you can see the median home price, $220,210. Price per square foot is $99. If it's going to cost me $90, $99 isn't going to help me much in the overall scheme of things. So this may not be a neighborhood to buy and flip and make money on if you're trying to build a home. Unless the neighborhood increased in value, then this would be one hell of a deal. But on the surface, I don't understand why somebody would buy these properties, because it's going to cost me, to equal this a home in this neighborhood, it's going to cost me, as you can see here, $289, $200, $200, $195, $172. It's going to cost me at 50. If it costs me $6,000 for the lot, and in order to build it, it's going to cost me $150. They're going to give me a loan for. There isn't much margin here, much profit here to waste your hard-earned time, energy, effort, and money. You don't need to bring out bullets out of your chamber to pay for this and make this happen. So this may not be a thing, but that doesn't mean anything. Maybe somebody else has a different idea where they can get their building costs lower. And if you have that special agreement with the builder, and your building costs, instead of it costing you $150, it's going to cost you $120. Now you might have something to it, because if it costs you $120,000, $130,000 with land and build out, and I can sell the thing for $200 or $220, now we have something. If I can build the whole thing for $150 and sell it for $220, we have something. So it all depends on who you are and what you can do in your neck of the woods. I'm not from the ATL. But there probably are builders in the ATL that already have set homes that says, okay, build this house, 125. Build this house, 140. So then it would make sense for me. I'll be checking into that a little further because we have a week to go on this. Now, after I did that, here's what else I did, which I'm going to have to show you. I went here, checked out some of the property in the neighborhood, and they said estimated prices. Then I went here, as you know. So then I said, let me hit up the realtor in the neighborhood, right? So on realtor.com, I hit up, which is not this particular one here, so I kind of went out of sequence. But on realtor.com, when it was a lot, I went up there and I hit up, I need the realtor, and I put in a question. A realtor contacted me. And here's the realtor who contacted me was Cheryl Dukes, EXP Realty. She contacted me back due to realtor.com. They called me as soon as I put my question in. I got a call like within 4 minutes. And then they said, what am I looking for? I told them what I was looking for. They said, okay, we're going to look for an agent. While I was on hold, they contacted an agent right away while I'm on hold, literally, in about a minute. She says, hey, this is the lady we have, a realtor, Cheryl Dukes. And from that point on, I started talking to her. So I start talking to her, and this is why you need a realtor, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, I would have had a realtor, but now Cheryl Dukes is the realtor, and that's where she starts informing me, where we're talking, and I tell her what I'm looking at, and then she proceeds to say, hey, yeah, this thing was going to be sold for $175,000 earlier this year. Nobody bought it. Then they dropped the price down to $99,000. The listing was expired, which you now can see on the screen here. It says $99,000 withdrawn. So the listing expired, and from that point, she's telling me, hey, you know, the lots, there's a note somewhere. I don't know. She's a real estate agent. It's probably a note in the MLS system that told her that there's rocks on the lots. And if anybody knows about when there's rocks on a lot, depending on how many rocks there are, that means you're going to have grading issues. That means you're going to have to dig these rocks up and remove these rocks before you can get a foundation for any home, any basements on your home or anything like that. This is going to be extra money. So once again, this may be part of the subdivision that the ground wasn't very conducive to just build and go or being able to grade it easily. This may be part of the subdivision that is rocky, maybe hilly, maybe some other challenges, and so therefore that's why this is available. And this is why even at 10 lots for $175,000, 10 lots for $99,000, nobody has taken them up on that offer yet. And in fact, they're down to, this auction is going to be 10 lots for $53,000 plus that double lot, but the double lot already has the contingency that it's probably not buildable. And I would be willing to bet you it's not buildable. So the question is, are these other lots buildable, which I put forth to Cheryl Dukes, and that's when she said about the rocks on the land. So if there's rocks on the land, we may have problems. This is why you have to always go and walk the property that you're going to bid on or buy. You do not buy sight unseen. So this is a lesson in due diligence. Again, so now we say, okay, she talks to me about that. So I say, okay, but then she says, hey, there's other lots in the area. If this is what you're trying to do, buy a lot and build, there's other lots in the area. So she mentions a $7,500 lot over here in Fairburn, 0.67 acres, which is almost twice the size. It's 100 feet wide by over 115 feet long, deep. So that's even bigger, but only costs $7,500, which is the equivalent of 10 lots is $75,000. So once again, the question is, if you built a house here, how much is the house going to be worth, and is it worth for you to do it? So I do a little more digging. And what do we see over here in the same neighborhood that she's talking about? There's other lots that are 7,800. She now proceeds to send me an email. And the email shows these lots. 0.32, This is what I was talking about before. Once you say that you are an investor, once you are looking for property, if you have a go-getter realtor who understands commercial real estate, who understands residential real estate, or one or both of those, then you have an advantage, because now she's sending me over things that are sitting there. $7,800 for a third of an acre. And this one's on Mary Erna Drive. This has utilities. I believe it was water, and I believe electricity came to this lot. Then over here on Fellowship at Trotter's Farm, this is a half an acre, and it's 33,000, and this one had all utilities coming to it. So the question then is, how much are homes in that area? Because if homes in that area are $400,000, now these numbers make sense, and it may be worthwhile to make it into a construction loan and turn this thing into making money. Now, here we go right here. This is going to be interesting. Here is a 3,800 square foot house for $650,000 in the 30213 area, and you see a map here, and this is very interesting. You can see where it is. Tapestry Boulevard, you see Concerto Court. This is going to be very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because again, the lady sent me over, Cheryl Dukes, she sent me over this, and at $650,000 is what this house sold for. Now this neighborhood I like, only because now if you bought a lot for $50,000, you can build a, let's call it a 4,000 square foot house for 300,000, 320. Now, if using the Brad Evans situation, which by the way, I forgot, there's something very important that I forgot about after me talking. That Brad Evans loan, no credit check, no qualify, no FICO scores needed, no prepayment penalty, no credit report fees, no upfront fees. Did you get that, ladies and gentlemen? There's no problem with your credit, your background, how much money you have in the bank. They will do it based on the asset, which is the land, and what the value will be after you build on the property. So again, let's move along, because she brings me over to this location, which is, and funny enough, it's almost in the same area as the Seymour Estates. That's what makes this very interesting. So look here, Concerto Court. Let me go back. Here's Concerto Court, ladies and gentlemen, right up the street from this $650,000, 3,800 square foot home. And then she shows me this. The Concerto Court lot expired. $55,000. Nobody offered them $55,000 for a lot. I believe somebody can come in there and offer below $55,000. Now, this is why I got excited for this video here, because a lot of people do not realize what is available to them and what they can do with having zero money right now, zero credit right now, background issues. Hell, you can't even get a job without them doing credit checks and background checks these days, but yet you can roll over here and get property, land, and loans without a credit check, without background checks. That's why real estate has been powerful all these years, and all you have to know is how to utilize it. Here we are, $55,000 on Concerto Court for a lot. I would say I could buy this for 40 grand, as far as I'm concerned. Who knows? Once I look in the neighborhood and see how much lots it actually sold for, but I do know it's around the corner from a $650,000 home. I like it. I love it. So now that means if we go true to form and we use the Brad Evans playbook where we get 60% LTV, 60% LTV on $650,000, let's see what that is. 650 times 0.6, $390,000, ladies and gentlemen. So that means we can get pretty doggone close. Now imagine if somebody said we're going to give you a 65% LTV. Okay? So I'll use 0.65. And just so you know, that's $422,050 that somebody will give you a construction loan. And if you actually were fortunate enough to find somebody that said, hey, I will build you this house, everything all in is $380,000 for a $3,800 square foot house. Talk about win-win. After you build your 3,800 square foot house in this neighborhood, you now can sell it for $600,000 potentially. I haven't done the real mathematics on every house in that subdivision, but I'm telling you right now how assessors and appraisers do properties. If you're within a half a mile, then that means that if that house sold for $650,000, then that means every house that's going to be 4,000 square feet is going to be at least worth $600,000 to $650,000. All right, it's that simple. There's no playing around. So all I'm trying to say is you could do this for $400,000. You have a lot. You have the construction loan in place. You have your loan to value ratio. Even at 60%, you know you can get 390. They will probably give you 330 or something of this nature. You now can build this house, and once it's done, $600,000. Ladies and gentlemen, $400,000. The difference between $400,000 and $600,000 is $200,000. Let's just forget about that difference. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, the economy goes bad and you have to sell the house for $550,000, $525,000. You now have an opportunity here to make $100,000, $125,000, $100,000, $80,000, whatever the thousands are, for building a home from scratch. Now, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go any further into this. Hopefully you understand what you can do, the possibilities. You have to think outside the box, which this isn't even outside the box. This is just standard issue that the top 10 percenters, the 1%ers, have been doing for decades. Hundreds of years. The difference is the ordinary citizen didn't know that you can get these loans. The ordinary citizen didn't know that if you had a company, an LLC, and you could get business lines of credit, that you could have used your business line of credit to buy this $55,000 lot. You can use your $200,000, $300,000 lines of credit on credit cards and things like that to put in $25,000 now, $50,000 later, after the next segment of the property was built, after the foundation is built. You get your construction loan allocation. After you put up the walls, another allocation. Of course, you have to have the inspectors write off on everything, but this is what you do. Is this worth, in 6, 7, 8 months, to make $100,000, potentially $150,000? I would say hell yeah. So all I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is how easy it is, and I'm using this as an example, all from the start of me looking for information right here at Transon. And I stumble upon, because I'm doing due diligence, I stumble upon this here because Cheryl Dukes, who answered the call the other day, sent me over this and said, hey, is this what you're looking for? Because I gave her other parameters where I said, yeah, I'm looking to get a lot. Once you build, then I need it to be valued at a higher number. She does whatever she needs to do as a realtor, and within 24 hours, she sends me over this on 819 Artistry Way to show me this is $650,000 built in 2020. It says it's under construction and scheduled to be completed November 20th. Now, look, I haven't looked further, like I said, but if homes are selling in this neighborhood for this kind of money, then that lot for $50,000 is undervalued, in my opinion. But we're going to find out further as I do more. But now you can do your own due diligence, but now you can see the possibilities of what happens. And there's also possibilities of what happens. This particular person here bought this for a year ago for $53,000 over here at Winkman Drive. He was pretty much probably thinking that the value of the lots would rise, and there's no reason not to. Atlanta's a hot spot. But what he didn't realize was this neighborhood, homes aren't the same value as basically the neighborhood that's right next door. So here's the neighborhood Seymour Estates for Winkman, and you can see their standard homes. And you can see here, but again, these homes are selling for, a little under 200, 190, 200, 225, 250. And you have to do your own due diligence. But again, that's what we're talking about here. And this is how easy you can do it, ladies and gentlemen. So with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. This is how I try to teach you how to generate money without having money, without having credit. All you need is your cell phone, your $1 million device. If you don't have a computer, a cell phone works. If you have a computer and no cell phone, either way, this works, because you can make phone calls on your computer, you can make phone calls on your phones, so there's no excuse. Even if you're dead broke right now, there's a way that you can make money. You can always make money in America. That's the beauty of America. The problem in America is, as you're going through school and they're giving you this nonsense about, here's the civics class, who nobody even pays attention to how their government works. When they say, hey, let's go over here to the math class, people are saying, well, I know how to count money, so that's all I'm going to pay attention to. I don't need to know calculus, geometry, and all this other stuff. When they say, let's go talk about histories, people are tuned out saying, I don't need to know about 1850. I don't need to know about 1920. Well, see, actually, you do need to know about all this stuff, because you're laying down a foundation for knowledge and research. And when you get older, there's a correlation between making money and research. You have to know what you're looking for and what your opportunities are to make things happen. So don't be confused. You always have to learn. You always have to be humble. You always have to be willing to learn. And sometimes you have to take risk. Are you going to be a risk taker? Because if you're not going to be a risk taker, it's easy to go get a job, Go down there and get your job. Get your $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 a month. I have no problem with that. But just keep in mind, your dreams are being squashed. The person that you're working for that's paying you, they're doing their dreams. They're making their life, you're making their life easier. Nothing wrong with none of that. But all I'm trying to say is, be a 10%er. Be a 1%er. Why do you want to be like 90% of the population and work 9 to 5? Come on. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.